Welcome to the channel. Up next are amazing AI podcasters conjured by NotebookLM. They deep dive further into this video titled Super Destructive Superheroes. That's the whole point. The deep dives in this video are truly insightful, fun, and heartfelt. So grab a snack, sit back, and enjoy the video.
Let's talk about superhero movies. I mean, they're dominating everything. But lately, have you ever walked out of one feeling just kind of hollow? Like something fundamental has just shifted? Well, today we're going to dig into an idea that, I'm telling you, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, it's a feeling a lot of us have been having. You watch these giant epic battles, whole cities getting wiped out, but then the credits roll and nothing. It just doesn't land. You're left with this nagging sense that something really crucial was missing. And spoiler alert, it's not the explosions. And that feeling, I think it boils down to one word: stagnation. It's like the heroes aren't really growing anymore. Their power doesn't feel earned, you know? So we're just left sitting there thinking, what was the point of all that? It's like watching a character run on a treadmill for 2 hours. Lots of motion, but they're not actually going anywhere.
Okay, so let's really get into it here, because this is where things get super interesting. When you actually look at the data, it turns out that the vast majority of fans, we're talking around 90%, see superheroes as something to aspire to. They're supposed to be the best of us, right? Representing things like discipline, leadership, and just mental strength. They're who we want to be. But here's the twist. This reveals that we are not all watching these movies for the same reason. Not even close. See, while most of us are looking for a hero to become, there's this other group. A smaller group, sure, but a really influential one, and they're looking for a weapon to use. They don't want inspiration. They want a raw power fantasy.
So how did this whole idea even come about? Well, believe it or not, this whole clash of perspectives, it all clicked into place because of one single conversation. It was one of those aha moments that just changes how you see everything.
So the person who came up with this whole theory was just chatting with a coworker one day, just shooting the breeze about superheroes. And then the coworker says something that, well, it just stopped him cold. It made this whole weird trend in modern superhero movies make perfect sense, but in a really unsettling way. He just said, that's the whole point. And you gotta wonder, right? The whole point of what? Well, the coworker explained that for him, a superhero isn't supposed to be a role model. No, not at all. The point is something totally different. The point, he said, is the ultimate power fantasy. The ability to just handle anyone who's ever disrespected you, to walk into your boss's office and say exactly what's on your mind, to break some arms, ruin a few lives, and face absolutely no consequences. Because hey, who's gonna stop you? That's the fantasy. And boom, that one idea, it unlocks everything. It explains the huge shift we've all been feeling in the heroes themselves. See, they're not just being written a little differently, they are being designed from the ground up to serve a completely different fantasy than the classic heroes we grew up with. I mean, just think about the typical modern hero, right? They're often these drifters, these loners, emotionally unstable, totally untrained, and the excuse we always hear is, oh, it's more realistic. But is it? No, it's convenient. It's convenient because a broken, isolated character doesn't have to answer to anybody. Their trauma just becomes this get-out-of-jail-free card for all their destructive behavior. And when you put them side by side, the difference is just, wow, it's stark. The classic heroes, they were all about mastering themselves through training, through discipline. They learned to restrain their power. But today's heroes, they're impulsive. They just lash out from their own pain, and their trauma is the excuse for having zero control. It's the difference between embodying a set of values and just being a walking, talking reaction to your own damage. Okay, so here's the million-dollar question. If your hero is this flawed, impulsive, totally unaccountable character, how in the world do you make them look, heroic? Well, you don't elevate the hero. You lower the entire world around them. And that, my friends, is the great cinematic cover-up.
It's like they take a fundamental rule of storytelling and just flip it completely on its head. A story is supposed to be about the world challenging the hero to grow, to get better. But here, the world is made worse specifically so the hero never has to improve. Their flaws get a free pass because, hey, look around. Is anyone else any better? Nope.
And believe me, there's a recipe for it. Step 1, make the world around the hero visually and emotionally dull. Step 2,
dim all the lights and literally drain the color out of the picture. And step 3, fill that world with characters who are dumber and less inspiring than your main hero. People call this gritty realism, but let's be real. It's a strategy. It's a deliberate choice to make a stagnant hero look acceptable simply by comparison. And to pull this off, you have to bring everyone else down to their level. The civilians, they have to be foolish. The authority figures, incompetent. Any potential mentor figure, they're either totally corrupt or just conveniently missing. And morality? Oh, that's just complicated, right? You gotta ask why. It's simple, really. If anyone else in that movie had a shred of integrity or a clear vision, our so-called hero would immediately be exposed as a fraud. And what's the end result of all this? Well, it's that hollow feeling we talked about right at the beginning. You're not actually watching a story with depth and growth. You're watching stagnation. Nothing rises, nobody improves, and no power is truly earned. Emotionally, it's a story that goes absolutely nowhere. So all of this, it really leads to one big question that we have to ask ourselves as the audience. Because at the end of the day, the kind of movies we get is a reflection of what we want to see in a hero. And it really just boils down to this one simple but really powerful choice. What are you here for? Are you looking for inspiration to see someone who represents the absolute best we can be? Or are you looking for validation? A character that basically says, hey, your worst impulses, they're totally fine. Let me put it another way. What is the power for? Is it there to protect and uplift society? Or is it just a tool for personal revenge? A way for the character to finally hurt the people who hurt them? How you answer that question, that basically defines the entire genre. And here's the kicker. Once you see this framework, this split between the aspirational hero and the pure power fantasy, you will start seeing it everywhere. Seriously, it's gonna change how you watch these movies, probably forever. So that hollow feeling you get, that's not a bug, it's a feature. The stagnant characters, the bleak, dumbed-down worlds, none of that is an accident. It's not bad writing. It is a very deliberate design choice, all built to cater to a very specific and frankly, a very destructive power fantasy. Because for some people, that is the whole point.
To fully enjoy this portion of the video, please ensure CC, closed captions aka subtitle, is turned on.
Okay, I want you to try a little experiment with me. Just picture the last big superhero movie you watched. You know, the huge budget, the explosions, the whole thing. And now, I want you to be really honest with yourself about why you were watching it.
Okay.
Was it because you wanted to see a character who represents, I don't know, the absolute peak of human potential, someone who inspires you to be disciplined, or maybe finally start meal prepping?
The aspirational angle.
Right. Or was it because you wanted to see someone with absolute terrifying power and just zero rules? Someone who can level a city block because they're having a bad day and nobody can do a thing about it.
That's a provocative question to start with. And it's one that might make a few people squirm because we all tell ourselves we watch for the heroism.
Exactly.
But this deep dive today suggests we might actually be feeding a very different kind of hunger.
And look, I'm guilty of this too. Sometimes you just want to see things go boom. But the source we're unpacking by Van Dale, it really holds a mirror up to that impulse.
And Van Dale is usually, you know, building his short story universe, dealing with these huge sci-fi epics and AI characters.
Right.
But this piece is different. It's a sharp cultural critique, and it really lands like a slap in the face to the modern comic book genre.
It's not the usual internet complaint either. He's not talking about bad CGI or, you know, plot holes.
No, not at all. He's tackling the fundamental philosophy of the modern hero. And I think the mission of this deep dive is to unpack this startling realization that there are two totally distinct ways to see superheroes. And we sort of quietly shifted from one to the other without even realizing what we've lost.
And it all kicks off with this specific aha moment the author describes. It just sets the scene so perfectly. So Vandella is talking to a coworker, a friend.
Just a normal conversation.
Yeah, standard water cooler stuff about superheroes. And Van Dale is working under the old school assumption that, you know, superheroes are about discipline, leadership, the Captain America archetype. And then the coworker just drops this line that stops him dead.
That's the whole point.
Right, that's the whole point. Van Dale's confused. He's like, the point of what?
Right.
And the friend explains that for him, the fantasy isn't about being good. It's about being untouchable. It's about walking into your boss's office and saying whatever you want.
Wow.
It's about going back to your old neighborhood and handling the people who disrespected you, breaking arms, ruining lives, all because who's going to stop you?
And that's the moment the glass shatters for him. It just highlights this massive psychological divide in the audience. Vandale points out that for the majority of fans, he estimates somewhere between, 80 to 96% superheroes are still aspirational.
Yes.
They see the best version of humanity.
Exactly. These are the listeners who see a hero and think about the hard work, the discipline. These characters are leaders. They're mentally tough. As the source puts it, these are the people who do meal prep, who train, who actually listen.
It's about service. It's about rising above your own ego to help someone else.
The servant leader, yeah.
So Superman getting a cat out of a tree, not because it's some epic feat, but just because he cares.
Yeah.
But then you have that minority view, the coworker's view. And for them, the fantasy isn't about service. It's a power fantasy in the darkest sense. It asks a totally different question. It's not, how can I help?
It's what can I get away with?
Precisely.
See, that's where it gets scary for me. Because one version is a superhero and the other is, well, it's just a bully with heat vision. One is a shield, the other's a weapon.
And here's the crux of the whole argument. Modern Hollywood has figured out that the bully with heat vision is a lot easier to sell. And frankly, a lot easier to write. The source argues that if you look at the heroes today, they aren't the disciplined leaders of the past. They're increasingly shown as drifters, loners, broken people.
Okay, hold on. Let me just play devil's advocate for a second. Because I can hear people yelling at their speakers right now.
Go for it.
Isn't that just better storytelling? I mean, the old school Boy Scout characters can be kind of boring. Nobody's perfect. So isn't making them messy and unstable just making them more human? Isn't that what we call realism?
That is the exact defense the industry uses.
Yeah.
Realism.
Yeah.
Gritty. They use those words like a shield. Oh, the world is dark, so the heroes have to be dark. But Vandale argues that's not realism.
What is it then?
It's convenience.
Convenience. How is a brooding, traumatized hero more convenient?
Well, think about the writing. If you have a character like the classic Captain America, he has standards. He has a code. So you have to write these complex situations where he uses restraint, makes hard moral choices.
That's tough to write well without it seeming cheesy.
Incredibly tough. But a broken hero, an emotional mess.
You can just have them punch their way out of everything.
Exactly. If the hero is a mess, you never have to hold them accountable. The source says that trauma has become the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card. If the hero destroys a city or is awful to their friends, the movie just turns to you and says, hey, don't judge him, he's traumatized. If you question that, you just don't get the depth.
Okay, that clicks. It's lazier because you don't have to write a moral struggle. You just write an emotional outburst.
And it's such a sharp contrast with the classic archetypes. I mean, look at Batman, the real classic Batman. The source points out he wasn't just some guy punching criminals because he was sad.
No, he mastered himself.
He mastered himself. He spent years training, learning every skill, disciplining his mind and his body.
He was the ultimate self-improvement project.
And Superman. The classic Superman is interesting because of what he doesn't do. He is constantly holding back. He could take over the world in an afternoon, but he chooses to be a reporter. He chooses to follow our rules. That's restraint.
And that power fantasy crowd, the coworker crowd, they hate restraint. Restraint isn't fun. They want catharsis. They wanted to see the hero finally snap.
And modern movies are giving them that snap.
Yeah.
But, and this is the really clever, almost insidious part, they have to play a trick on your brain to make it okay. Because if you just showed a hero acting like a maniac in a normal world, we'd all reject it.
This is the section of the article that just blew my mind, the cover-up. Vandale argues that because the heroes are now fundamentally bad, weak, undisciplined, the filmmakers have to warp the entire world around them to make them look acceptable.
It's a fascinating theory of cinematic manipulation.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine you have a protagonist who is rude, violent, and messy. If you put him in a bright, sunny, functioning city with competent police and nice people,
He looks like a villain. He looks like the problem.
so you have to break the world to fit the hero.
You lower the bar of the entire universe.
Exactly.
And the source lists these specific techniques that I swear, once you hear them, you cannot watch a movie the same way again. The first one is so simple, the lighting.
Dim the lights, drain the color.
Yes. Have you noticed this? Everything is gray or mud-colored or just incredibly dark. And I always thought that was just, a style choice, dark and edgy.
It's not just style, it's psychology. The source has this one devastating line. It says, "Classic superhero worlds were colorful because hope existed. Modern ones are dark because hope would expose the lie."
Ooh, hope would expose the lie. That's heavy.
But think about it like a restaurant. If you're serving a beautiful fresh meal, you want bright light so people see the quality. If you're serving something that's been under a heat lamp for 6 hours, what do?
You dim the lights, you put a candle on the table, make it atmospheric.
Precisely. Muted colors hide the lack of personality in the protagonist. A dull environment excuses a dull hero. If the world is a dumpster fire, then a hero who acts like garbage seems, well, reasonable.
And it goes beyond the visuals. It's about the people, too. To protect these flawed heroes, the supporting cast has to be sabotaged.
Oh, the civilians. This drives me crazy. In these movies, the average person is either a total idiot or part of an ungrateful mob.
Yes, or the authority figures. The police are corrupt or useless. The government is incompetent. Mentors are just gone.
It's protective. There can't be a moral compass in the film that's stronger than the heroes. Because if you had a police commissioner who was actually ethical and disciplined, the hero would just look like a loose cannon.
The audience would start siding with the cops.
So everyone else has to be dumbed down, so our flawed hero is still the best option available.
That is actually really depressing when you break it down like that. Instead of a hero rising to meet a challenge, you just crush the world down until it's lower than the hero.
It's the storytelling equivalent of surrounding yourself with people doing worse than you, just so you can feel better about yourself.
A perfect analogy. And that leads to the consequences, right? We are watching, as the source puts it, nothing rise.
No growth, no earned power.
And this explains that feeling I get at the end of these movies. The source calls it the hollow feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You walk out of the theater, your ears are ringing, but you just feel empty. It didn't stick.
It doesn't stick because you didn't witness a journey. You just witnessed a loop. In a classic story, the world challenges the hero to become better, to master their fear or their ego. In these modern myths, the world is just a punching bag to justify the hero's anger. You're not watching someone overcome, you're watching someone vent.
It's staring at trauma inside trauma. That's the quote. And I think that's why these movies aren't rewatchable for me. I can watch the old stuff over and over because I want to feel that inspiration. But the new stuff, once I know the plot, I don't need to go back. There's just no nutrition there.
That's the gritty fallacy. We mistake darkness for depth.
Yeah.
We think because characters are crying and it's raining, it must be profound.
Yeah.
But often, it's just misery. It's validating our own worst feelings, not challenging us to rise above them.
So we've got this split. The aspirational fans and the power fantasy fans who just want to see the world burn. And the movies are catering to the burners while pretending to be deep.
Which brings us to the ultimate question Van Dale poses. It's a binary choice, really, for you listening. And you should really think about this. Do you want superheroes to inspire you? Or do you want them to validate your worst impulses?
Do you want heroes who protect society or characters who finally get to hurt people back?
That phrasing, finally get to hurt people back, is so chilling. But it explains the appeal. If you feel powerless in your own life, there is a visceral thrill in watching a character who just reacts, who doesn't take the high road.
It's the fantasy of quitting your job by flipping over the desk instead of putting in 2 weeks' notice.
Yes. It feels great in the moment, but it's destructive. It prioritizes immediate, visceral satisfaction over long-term character. And the author warns us, once you see this pattern.
Oh, you can't unsee it.
You cannot unsee it. The dim lighting, the incompetent side characters, the trauma as an excuse.
Seriously, consider this a warning. You're gonna watch a trailer tomorrow and see the gray color palette and think, they're hiding something. It's not bad writing. It's not an accident.
It is by design.
A design that reflects us. And that's the uncomfortable place the source leaves us. If these broken heroes are the most popular thing in the world, what does that say about us?
Yeah, does the hero we choose reveal the state of our own mental health?
Maybe we're just too tired to meal prep and train. Maybe we're all so burnt out that discipline feels like a chore, and consequence-free power is the only vacation our brains can handle.
It's possible we've stopped looking for leaders and started looking for avengers. We don't want to be shown how to be better. We just want to be told it's okay to be broken. And that if we had superpowers, we'd be justified in breaking everyone else too.
Man, that is a lot to chew on. I kind of miss the days when the biggest debate was just, who's faster, Flash or Superman?
Simpler times. But awareness is the first step. Once you see the trick, it loses its power over you.
That's true. Well, listener, I hope we haven't ruined your next movie night. Or maybe we have, but in a good way. Next time you fire up a superhero flick, look at the lighting, look at the civilians, and just ask yourself, is this hero rising or is the world just sinking to meet them? Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Take care.
If you enjoyed my video, super destructive superheroes, that's the whole point. Be sure to hit that like button. It helps the channel more than you know. Share this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into my original comic book stories, heroes, villains, and everything in between. Click the bell icon so you'll never miss when a new story drops. Want to support the channel directly? My PayPal link is down in the description and also on my homepage. It helps me with creating more epic comic book content for this channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious, keep imagining, and I'll catch you in my next comic book video.